Welcome to Deuce and Don Podcast. I'm your host, Deuce. Alongside me is
Don Blake. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And we are together, the Deuce and Don Podcast. What are we talking about today, Deuce?
Hey, we got a lot of music. Well, two big albums came out. We're going to talk about the pop albums. It was hip hop here today.
That's right.
And
That's
we have
right.
some unfortunate news to get to later, but we'll address that. Get the light stuff out the way.
For sure. But first things first, man, we want to give a shout out to one of the artists I toured with. His name is Big V. He blessed us. You know what? He blessed a few of us with this shirt. You know what I'm saying? That's cool, but let's smoke first. You know?
Yes, sir. That's always a motto.
Yeah, no, that's cool, but let's smoke first. You know what I mean? That's a lot of times that's what we do before we podcast and before we, have to do extracurricular activities outside of work. And so, yeah, man, I thought this shirt really resonated with me. I thought it was pretty funny. So he gifted me with it on tour. And so we appreciate the partial sponsorship, and we're hoping for more of that, and we're hoping for even full sponsorships eventually, Deuce and Don, but we take it one step at a time, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's cool. Sure, I'm trying to get me one of those, man.
No doubt, we'll make it happen for sure, easily.
Brother up.
But yeah, so with hip hop, you mentioned that there's two big albums. I'm thinking of a few, but what's the first one we're talking about?
Travis Scott.
Yes.
Before Days in Rodeo.
Yes. So I want to pull up the track list to that so we can have our specifics and make sure we get everything right. We have it right here. So first things first, it came out in 2014 is the release date. Now, what this means to me is that these tracks were not touched or altered at all since 2014, because in my mind with music, the moment, no matter when it was recorded, the moment you make any tweaks on it, the year it is, that's what year the song is. So to me, with this record, that means that there was no this was just shelved for 10 years, I think. And so when I hear it, there's definitely some mixing that sounds like older.
Yeah,
it takes you back to that time period for sure. And for us, 14 is crazy because we were freshmen in high school, so that's like a live age for us. So it definitely took me back to that time. The features were pretty cool. Rich homie QUAN, who we'll get into later, rest in peace. His song Mamacita on there,
with Young Thug.
With Young Thug was awesome. I really liked that song actually, and it wasn't even just because Rich homie QUAN was on it. Honestly, the production was insane. All throughout it, man. There was a few times where I thought it sounded like Travis Scott now, right? And I was like, is this really 2014? But I mean, I'll never truly know. But whether it was or wasn't, cool, good music is good music, no matter what year it is. You know what I mean,
on the track list, it says 2014 to 2024. So that's what really confused me at the start. What I was going to say is that he started the album in 2014.
Right.
And probably didn't touch it for a little bit. And then, over the years probably said, I'm going to work on this, add a couple new songs. Let it marinate. Yeah, let it marinate and see. We'll try to mix and master it, make it sound cohesive, and then put it out. You know? I was going to say that it kind of brought me back to, I remember when Travis Scott first came out, he had a heavy Kanye sounding influence.
Definitely. I heard that again too.
With the first track, you heard it. So it was kind of nostalgic. I really like the
first track too. My favorite, see, with me, I'm a heavy album listener. So with songs, I honestly rarely remember song titles unless it's like a big hit.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was like tracks. So the way I do it is I'll be like, when I listen to an album, I'll be like track 1, track 2, track 5, track 8, and track 10 were my favorites. And those are honestly the tracks that were my favorites on this album. So those are Days Before Rodeo to Prayer. I thought the intro was so cool. Mamacita featuring Rich homie QUAN and Young Thug was really good. We both agreed on that.
Yeah, that's my favorite song though.
I like Don't Play with the Big Sean's verse on there was really good too.
Yeah.
That's the 5th one. The 8th one is Sloppy Toppy. Because, feature Amigos. Yo, Takeoff and Offset went crazy on that. And I like the title too, man. We all could use some sloppy toppy sometimes, man.
Yeah, salute to the sloppy toppy.
Yeah, bruh. Anyway, we may edit that out. And then 10 was Backyard, man. Backyard was cool, bro. It brought me back. That had a real nostalgic sound to it. Lyrically, it was cool too. Travis Scott, he's just a very mainstream artist to me, but he is very artistic too. So I'm not going to take that away from him. He's not like the typical lyricist rapper. He's more so like the turn up, the hype party music. You're going to play that when you're out having a fun time. I mean, there's always a lane for that in hip hop. I think he's money music to me. You know what I mean? Music. To where it's like he talks a lot about having money, about drugs, about having parties and good times. It's kind of like it's money music to me.
You can name plenty of rappers to do that.
But I will say though, you know, the way he mixes his melodies and the production and the way that the beats shift, like it's awesome, bro. Like he has a really deep sound. Like he is his own sound, no question. And so I give credit where credit is due. Even, you know, Utopia, that was the one that dropped last summer, right?
Yeah.
That one was good too. I like this one though, you know, but I think they should have put it as a 2024 album just because they shelved it. I mean, it doesn't really matter though. You know, like I said, you know, doesn't matter what the year is. If it's good music, it's good music. It's going to stand the test of time. Yeah, yeah.
I was going to say it looked like it sold pretty well.
Definitely.
I think it was like 360-something thousand first week.
Definitely shot to the top of the charts.
Yeah. My last point, Travis Scott. I'll probably say that's one important part about being an artist. What I know is having a unique sound. That when you hop on the track, you know that's who it is. You know, Travis Scott. Straight up. I'm saying.
Yeah. I also like Thug's features in this too. By the way, I think Thug got bars, bro. Thug got bars, bro. I didn't even.
Thug is nice.
Yeah, Thug is nice.
Thug has always been nice.
So, all right. I think anything else you want to get in about the album?
It's a great album. I am not too familiar on like the logistics on when it was released, on where what date. It sounds a little dated, certain songs. So like I can tell that he started it a while ago.
Right.
But I enjoyed the album.
I thought the songs transitioned really well. Like in the songs, like the way that they would just kind of like change and evolve within the songs. That was really cool. Yeah. But song to song, it didn't really flow well. Like it would be like, oh, you're gonna switch it up the vibe like that, like immediately, and so it would catch me off guard. Maybe it was just to entertain listeners, but I did think song for song though, it was a pretty good album. I give it like it's not my cup of tea, so I'm gonna like take my own like subjectiveness out of it in terms of like just as objectively as possible. Musically, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I think Travis Scott is no slouch musically. Like you'll never hear me saying he's not a good artist or musician because he has his own sound, like you said. So the other big album was
Big Sean's album.
Yes, sir. And
Better Me Than You.
Better Me Than You.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie, Don Blake has been busy, man. I only had time to listen to one album. But I know you listened to some of Big Sean's albums, so let me know how you feel.
It's okay.
Let the people know how you feel.
Yeah, but Big Sean, we gotta respect Big Sean. I think even though for the masses may not understand where his place was in rap for the past decade, but he's probably one of the most upper echelon as far as you go song making, rapping ability, as far as you go the most mainstream artist. And he's in recent years he hasn't been in the limelight as much, and after the problems you may have had with Kendrick or whatnot, it's kind of shifted his career. But coming off of the beef with Drake and Kendrick, you kind of expect, probably the other upper echelon rappers to come with something, to make themselves stand out.
Bring the best out of the best.
Yeah, and Big Sean has talked a lot about the trials and tribulations and the made negative parts about the industry he's been through the past couple months. And I'm guessing for Sean fans, you kind of expected him to tell you a more inside depth of what he's been going through this album, because he hasn't been dropping music, And I feel like he didn't really do too much of that. Not saying he didn't make good songs.
So you said you wanted him to be a little bit more vulnerable?
Yeah, vulnerable, or just, I don't know if you I don't want to. You don't have to let the fans or let everybody know your business,
right? Of course.
But if you're gonna let people know something's wrong with you, it kind of makes sense for you to explain what's going on with you, through your art.
Definitely. Yeah, I think
that's just my opinion.
Right. No, it helps a lot. What issue exactly is it though?
I don't know. It was recently.
His issue with Kendrick?
No. Well. I don't. He hasn't claimed the Kendrick beefs.
Right.
Like he hasn't
I'm not
claimed,
trying to start no shit.
Yeah. Whatever he has going on. He has going on behind the scenes.
Right.
But he had like a live, like I want to say a couple weeks ago, and he was just like, he started getting teary eyed. He started like crying. So
right.
Typically you don't get online and cry if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, unless it's something's
like that's just my opinion.
Whether they expected to do it or not. Yeah, it's like that means something's weighing on them heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks because there's a lot of things that people go through that we can't even really talk about, you know, that they can't even talk about. So we won't know. But I don't really know a lot about Big Sean personally. I've never met the guy. I don't know him. But I do know that, you know, lyrically, maybe I've been sleeping on him, you know what I mean? Because flow wise, he's got some flows, and from what I've heard as well, and from my understanding, he influenced Drake a little bit early on, and Drake kind of never really gave him that shine, really. You know, a lot of artists that are influenced by certain people, they might give him shine, and sometimes the artists like that, sometimes they don't. They'll be like, get your own style, but Drake never really said anything about it. This is just from what I've heard, but unfortunately, I don't really have much to say about the album. We could pull up the track list though, because I heard DJ Premier's on it, who's one of my favorite producers.
I would say my favorite tracks on the album, Iconic. All right, I like Boundaries.
Okay.
And the last song, Together Forever with Alchemist. I really enjoy
Alchemist is a great producer too.
Yeah, if you're a rapper, get with Alchemist, 100%.
Definitely. And then I see Kodak's on this as well. So he's definitely got good features in this. He got DJ Premier, Larry June, Tiana Taylor, Gunna.
Yeah.
Charlie Wilson.
Gunna's been doing
great singer.
Charlie, yeah.
So Sean's definitely got good features on this. I will check it out. You said you told me Iconic, Boundaries, and Together Forever are your favorite tracks. So I'm gonna definitely tune into the entire album and check it out. Respect to Big Sean for being able to land those features and to be able to have a career like that and like this, you know, and feed his family, and to even be in a conversation with guys like Kendrick, Drake, and Cole, you know. So salute to Big Sean. Now you know, we got into all the fun stuff and the cool stuff, but unfortunately, a lot of death news have been coming in, and with hip hop, it's no different. And so we got two losses to address. Yeah. The first one we'll address is Rich Homie Quan. Pretty crazy because he was on Travis Scott's album. Yeah. So the timing is insane. Let me know your thoughts, Deuce. Let us know your thoughts.
I mean, I still don't know the full details. I don't think they're out there about what exactly happened. It's kind of, recently there was some stuff that came over Rich Homie Quan due to the Young Thug case, and his name kind of resurfaced, and I felt like he kind of got a spark back, you know, like people saying his name in the space, you know, whatnot.
Right.
And it's kind of good when you have a career and you're not at the same point you were in career, and you're not as famed as you were, and you get a resurgence, you know. I feel like that probably would help him a lot, you know, and you never know how he could have used this second breath of wind to advance his career or make another lane for himself. And I feel like it's really unfortunate at such a young age that he was taken from us.
For sure. So yeah, you know, I'm not gonna go up here and lie and be like I was the biggest Rich Homie Quan fan. I obviously wasn't, you know, really familiar with his music. I knew a few of his hits, you know, Type of Way. When I walked through, I knew those songs. They were, you know, I actually liked those songs and listened to them, you know, for sure. When I was in high school, you know, in middle school as well. But more than that, you know what I mean, as an artist, like, we could put that all aside. This is a 34-year-old man, you know what I mean? And so from what I heard, you know, there was no news sites that really confirmed anything, but I did see a message from one of his family members to somebody. But then again, you know, not to say this is real or anything, but they said it was due to a pill. So, you know, probably drugs was the reason. It sounds like, you know, whatever it was, whatever reason it is, you know, it's super unfortunate to happen because the guy's 34 years old. And, you know, I know a lot of people that were big fans of his music. I know a lot of people that weren't, but regardless, just know that, you know, he was feeding his family and living out his dream, you know what I mean? And at the same time being famous, you know, getting songs on the radio and being able to make a difference, you know, and like having a purpose with his life that he fulfilled. You know, we have to appreciate that. And I feel terrible for his family, and I feel terrible for him. Rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan, and your music will never be forgotten.
Rest in peace, Rich Homie, man.
And for the last few minutes we have remaining, respectfully, another loss. So first, you know, Rich Homie Quan, you know, represents more the new school of hip hop, the new wave. But in terms of the old school and the old wave, but still was relevant, FATMAN Scoop.
FATMAN Scoop, man.
Yeah. That one was crazy because I don't know if you remember this, but a few months back we went to an outdoor festival. Yep. It was a Raekwon show. You know, team would let me know about it, and we pulled up, free show. You know, it was awesome. It was awesome. I got sunburned as hell.
Yeah, it was hot as hell out there. It was lit.
Yeah,
the music was popping.
But Fatman Scoop was there, bro, and he was screaming like it was 1992, bro. Yeah, he was like full energy out there. Yeah, and even though the 100%. Crowd was a little bit weak, we were overheated and sweating. Like we were just like, man, get the show going. But like he was still like rocking with the crowd, and it was cool to see, man. Super unfortunate way for him to pass, you know, with a heart attack on stage. You know, it looks like it. Again, I don't want to, you know, like, well, we do know what happened was that he collapsed on stage. But the poetic part about it, my father and I were talking about it. My father's a musician as well, retired musician. He was like, he died doing what he loved most, which is performing music in front of fans. And so, it's unfortunate that, you know, anybody has to pass, you know, but at least he got to do what he loved doing most. That's the positive way I look at it, you know. So rest in peace, Fatman Scoop, and to his family as well, too.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely poetic, how if there is a poetic way, you know,
for sure,
to go out.
Yeah.
Fatman Scoop definitely made sure that crowd that day, made sure they felt every beat, every soul.
Oh, of course.
You know, that...
He did it to death, bro.
Legend, man.
I think his last words was, Hamden, are you ready to party? Like, you know... There probably had to be something going on with him where he was feeling it, you know, in his chest or whatever. But he's like, yo, I can't let the crowd. I would do the same thing, bro. If I was hurting, I'd be like, yeah, let's go. So he's like, Hamden, let's make some noise. And then he claps. And so it's like, you know, he's still, you know, doing what he loves, you know. And so the fact that he passed doing that, you know, that's the positive way I could put it, you know. He obviously had hits mixing songs and DJing, really good DJ. So, rest in peace, Fatman Scoop. Rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan.
You'll always be remembered.
Absolutely. Through your music, you live forever. You know, them recordings never die. So
yeah. On last note, I think Rich Homie Quan's albums or playlists have been going up recently. So salute that for his family.
So all I'll say is that, you know, give artists love while they're alive. Whoever you love, give them 100%. Love. You can't. It's too impossible to give love to everybody, we know. But the artists that you do love, make sure you show them love and that they appreciate it and that they don't got to get their flowers before you give them love. So
100%.
Deuce and Don podcast. We are out of here.
Episode
we love y'all.
11.
11. Peace. Yes,